Like this video, comment and subscribe right now for a chance to win absolutely nothing. He thought it was chocolate. I remember when my dad told me that cheese with holes in was called hiccup cheese because the cows had hiccups when they made it. I carried that until I was 18. Got laughed out the pub. Told the story a couple years later. I was laughed at again for thinking cows made cheese. When I was little there was a show that was popular with kids in Canada called The Big Comfy Couch, and there was a segment of the show that I loved called the Dust Bunnies. It was quite literally two bunnies made of dust named Fuzzy and Wuzzy, and they would often play with whatever fell under the couch. So I would always drop stuff under my couch and then try to look for them. I never did find them, but we found a duck ton of stuff I dropped on purpose. My kids though chasing each other around the kitchen wasn't dangerous enough and started pulling drawers open to slow each other down. Anyway, now I know what it sounds like when a 4-year-old's face makes full contact with a silverware drawer. Kids imagining what life would be like at 40. I'm 40. I have wrinkles and grey hair and I would have a walking stick to help me walk. Rita Monaghan. 9. I'm 40. I'm turning old. I just left work because I cannot manage going up and down hills. I know I will soon die. Jennifer Turner. 8. My son thinks the TNT shirt stands for Tyrannosaurus. When questioned on why it might be that, he said it's because the shirts have tiny arms. I bought my son a book about bats, and halfway through it he shouted out, "What? Bats are real?" All this time he thought they were made up for Halloween like ghosts and witches. Once when my sister was about 4 we had pizza for dinner, which my sister hated, since she took forever to eat it. We went outside without her, so instead of eating her pizza like a normal child, she threw it up on purpose so she could play. My mom made her clean it up. My man, taking a leak at second base during his first t-ball game. Legendary. In elementary school a girl I had a crush on got glasses and she hated them. I remember my dumbass staring at bright light bulbs for hours trying to get glasses too to make her feel better LMAO. He visited his daughter's kitchen and left an honest review. I've been waiting on my order to get done for 45 minutes and I'm the only customer here. She was making good progress at first. Then she stopped for 20 minutes to go watch Paw Patrol, wrote Chris. Overall the customer service could be better, but the cook is a cutie, so I'll give her another chance. 7-year-old. If cars could talk, I wonder what they would say. Me. What do you think they would say? 7. Stop farting in me. Daughter didn't want sunscreen, so I put her outside and yelled son. Get her, and now she's flipping out. Me. Good morning, son. 7-year-old. Daddy, what would happen if you got a pufferfish up your bed? Me. Goes back to bed. Wheels on wheels. Luckily no injuries. My 8-year-old. Watching Olympic golf. What's hard about that? There's not even an obstacle course in front of it or anything. 12-year-old. You're thinking of mini golf. This is real golf. 8-year-old. Well, looks pretty easy to me. When my nephew was like 5 to 6 years old he learned what death is. So he woke up crying in the middle of the night to wake his mom and just cried out, "If you die, who will make pasta salad for me?" My 3-year-old accidentally unspooled the entire roll of toilet paper, but don't worry, he fixed it. When your daughter wakes you up at 5 AM to tell you she has made a caterpillar at preschool yesterday and continues to talk about it for 2 hours and tells you we absolutely have to pick it up today. So when we arrived at preschool we were handed this. I mean, where on earth do I put this? Everywhere I put it, it just looks like a big. By the way, its name is Winnie the Pooh. Space is so big. Space is about 50 suns. He rode away in his scooter before mom could put his helmet on. My niece didn't want to eat her pancake crust. This is what my 7-year-old niece sends me after asking my mom for my number. Mississippi has 4 S and 4 I spell that. Wow. My 4-year-old said he was car sick, so I dumped the groceries from a plastic bag and passed it back to him with instructions to throw up inside it. I heard him throw up and looked back to see that he'd put the bag on over his head like a helmet, so the yolk fell right out the bottom. Mom uses cardboard cutout of herself to stop kid crying when she leaves room. What my aunt encountered when she went to pour herself a whiskey on the rocks. My sister take her kid's Nintendo Switch away at night. So the kids made a fake Switch and tried to swipe the real one and put the fake in its place. So the kids stole the credit card and ordered shut online. Of all things, 3 sets of crutches so they could pretend to have broken legs. Fully expecting a few carefully worded questions at the next parents' night. When I'm 100 years old, I will gamble. In case you were wondering, the loudest sound in the world is my kid screaming, "Are you pooping?" in a public restroom. Me and my family were camping for a Willie Nelson concert. I was probably 6 to 8. I was playing with some kids near the campsite where I got into some stinging nettles. My legs started itching and I told my mom. She pointed to the stinging nettles in the field and told me that they were poisonous. I spent the next 30 minutes being very quiet. At one point I was sitting on the bank of a pond and my mom came over and asked what I was doing. I told her, "Oh, just thinking about dying." When she said poisonous, I immediately assumed that it would kill me and thought that my parent were just letting it happen so they could see the concert. The greatest achievement of his life. Amazing school year planned. This year I planned to eat a burrito without cutting it in half. My kid turned off the deep freeze. Now I gotta cook all this. At age 5, I kept seeing the same symbol everywhere. I distinctly remember getting really angry that it was following me and chucking a big tantrum in fear. I know what you're thinking. What symbol was it? This bastard. It was 2004. The Athens Games. Yes, I was stupid. No matter what I do, my kid refuses to call this anything other than a tumor. I've always had bad eyes, so I already had to go to an eye doctor as a child. I always furiously protested when doctors wanted to give me eye drops, though, and wouldn't let anyone give them to me. Then, my parents found an eye doctor that managed to get me to accept eye drops. How did he do that? He asked if I wanted chocolate or vanilla eye drops. A wise doctor once said. Just kids trying to help their parents. So every morning I let Sammy, my 5-year-old, pack some snacks for herself while she's at daycare. Usually she gets some chips, a snack cake, some fruit snacks, a juice box, and maybe some candy. So as we were walking out the door, I was carrying her lunchbox, and it felt kinda heavy. Lol, I said, "Dang, what all did you put in here?" And she snatched it and said, "My snack." So we get to the car, and I noticed she's guarding her lunchbox with her life. So I took it and opened it. "Okay, Samantha." This little monkey loves bananas, but always holds them, like he's eating corn, and eats the length of the banana. My 6-year-old decided summertime was the perfect season for a spy cosplay and obsession. PSA. This is the Lego piece that Nathan just put in his nose. He started crying and sniffed it up so far that I couldn't see it. I had seen a YouTube video about this and decided to try it. He has able to show me which side of his nose he put it in. I had him lay down. I closed the opposite side of his nose and I covered his entire mouth with mine and blew into his mouth pretty hard. It popped right out. My goal here is to save other parents a trip to the ER. When I was a kid I had this game called Worm Church where I'd bring worms to my room and read them the Bible. Spreading the good worm. When we told my 11-year-old that he was going to have a baby sibling, he immediately asked who's the father. I can't wait for him to be on Twitter. Nephew was like 5 years old at the time. I'm not a morning person. He goes into my room early in the morning. Kid, hey uncle, it's time to get up. Me, thinking that if I don't move or breathe he'll go away. Kid, uncle, you have to get up. Now, then he just stands there for a while. Then he begins to tickle my feet. Me, I'm biting my tongue in order to stay still and quiet. Eventually he gives up and leaves. Then I hear from downstairs. Kid, mom, he's dead. Uncle, insert name here, is dead. Mom, what? He's dead. My daughter said, Daddy, I like your car because it's made of human skin, because we have tan fake leather seats lol. I remember when I was like 6, I thought that if you like drinking alcohol, you were an alcoholic, and I didn't realize being an alcoholic was a bad thing. So when my aunt asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up, I said I want to be an alcoholic just like dad. My toddler is crying because he wants to be driven to school in a red car. My car is black. How is your day going? A 15-minute car ride across town resulted in 3 of life's most difficult questions posed by my resident 7-year-old. 1. How do you know if you are about to die? 2. What would happen if a person was born with their bones on the outside of their body? And 3. What is your third favorite Pokemon? Today I asked my cousin kindergartner if Friday was his favorite day of the week, and his response was, I don't know. I don't know a lot of things. I'm confused all the time. Same. Little man. Same. My kids are playing grown up. From what I can tell, it involves running around yelling I'm late for work and going to the eye dentist. Grandma, you're not supposed to talk out loud when you're on the toilet. 7-year-old. So, I should just whisper to my poop? Tonight my wife made fresh biscuits with farm-picked strawberries and homemade whipped cream for dessert. My youngest son chose to eat a Tootsie Pop instead. I'll be in my bed reflecting on my failure as a parent. One time I was sharing some geography facts with a group of 2nd graders. I told them about the Dead Sea being so salty that nothing lives in it / you can float in it. Second fact was how Death Valley was the hottest place on earth, which I've now learned is debatable. One kid spoke up and told me that it seemed like I was making it up because of the similar names. He then proudly declared that the sun was the hottest place on earth. I asked him how that could be if it's all the way in outer space. He immediately turned red, but had a good laugh with all of his friends. You got me there. My son came home with a great at sharing award from daycare. I was surprised at first because sharing isn't his strong suit at home, but then I saw Alan written at the bottom. My son stole the sharing award from Alan. I hope there's an award for ingenuity. What's the dumbest you ever did as a kid? My shining moment was when I was like 4. I put floaters on my feet and jumped into a pool thinking I'd walk on water. I almost drowned. When I was 10, my school didn't have toilet paper in the bathrooms, so I used my undershirt to wipe myself. I would go around with a big wet stain on my undershirt every day for at least a month. It wasn't until one day my mom found out about it by smelling urine on my dirty undershirt. Needless to say, I'm glad I got grounded for it. I was a stupid effing kid. I told my 1st grade class they were writing their letters to Santa. I should have been more specific. Dear Santa. Oh good. My son put my wireless headphones in a plastic container of water to keep them safe. Good, great, fine, how wonderful. When you complete against the world record and not the other players, my son just said that he would also swim really fast if he was being chased by a laser. Once when I was about 3 to 4 years old, I broke the family Wii by shoving a quarter into the game slot. My reasoning was I thought it would play a quarter game. When I was little, a guy helped my mom unlock the car after she locked the keys in, and she said to him, "Thanks, you're a lifesaver." I couldn't understand why she was calling him a piece of candy. He wants to sit in the food chair, but gets upset when he gets stuck, then gets more upset when we free him. We can't win. Mom, you can't eat meat here. This is a vegetarian area. Revegetation area. When I was a 7-year-old, me and my mum used to watch live action drama shows, which are exclusive to Malta, and I thought that the characters on screen weren't real and don't exist. So one day, me and my classmates had a drama lesson, and one of the actors from the drama show was there. I was confused as to what I was witnessing. So halfway through the lesson I went up to him and asked, "Hey mister, how did you escape from my TV screen?" The actor, teacher, my LSA and other add-ons were laughing, while I sat there with even more confusion. When I was a kid in the 1980s we didn't have a VCR. I set an alarm clock radio for 2 AM on a Sunday night to watch Hogan's Heroes, a show I was certain had to be about WWF Pro Wrestling. OMG. Kensley wouldn't eat her pizza because she doesn't like the tip. Her mom took the bite and then Kensley was fine and ate her pizza. Kids are so weird. You mean kids are ducking stupid? I used to drink water from the shower when I was 10. Don't ask me why. Until I convinced myself that the water we use was also used by the elderly neighbors. So the thought of drinking old man backwater made me sick to my stomach. So I stopped doing it. Best burger alive. Best of the best. There was an ad on the big screen, and one of my friends said, "I know that person. Her name is Mayor I legit stood up, waved and yelled, 'Hi Mayor.' I didn't realize he was talking about the ad, thought he spotted a person below us. I'm 17 now and still cringe a lot." Well, this is a kid's brain at peak potential, truly taking full advantage of the limitless capacities of Google Chrome. Help. I can't play Roblox because it's blocked. What do I do? When I was younger I thought the We Shop channel was an actual store like Target, so I never opened it. But one day I decided to, and I got a lovely message saying the shop would close soon. I didn't know how to get We Shop points, so I felt like I had wasted my time without the We Shop. I still regret this to this day. When I was younger, I loved broccoli. So much so that when I sang the national anthem at my school with other kids before class, I replaced "O Canada" with "O Broccoli." I remember getting in trouble with the principal of the school after singing "O Broccoli" a little too loud. God, I hate my life. Story from my girlfriend. I was babysitting a couple kids for an event, so we gave them pizza. I overheard one kid telling another how he was lactose intolerant, to which the other replied, "But you're having pizza." The kid replies, "Yeah, but it's pepperoni, not cheese." Someone learned a valuable lesson today, maybe. When I was around 3 or 4, I was playing hide and seek with my friends at their house. One of them said that it was now hide and seek tip, which included running away when the seeker found you. A few rounds in, and I was running down their hallway from the seeker. I turned a corner and was face to face with a fly screen door. I thought that you could run straight through fly screen, like in the cartoon, where people run through doors and are unscathed. I took a few steps back and ran at full speed towards the door. A few seconds later, and I'm sitting on the floor on the same side of the door with the fly screen pattern all over my face and blood pouring out of my nose, screaming my head off. It was a metal fly screen. Photo I caught before kid slams into me in gift shop, screaming about his new giraffe plush. He got up and ran off seconds almost immediately. In fairness, I would have behaved the same at his age. When I was in maybe 1st or 2nd grade, I was at a friend's house when he put on his dad's respirator saying it was a gas mask, and then he turned on an air compressor and told me it was releasing poison gas and that I would die in my sleep. Me. Kids, what animal would you take into space? 7-year-old. Puppies. 4-year-old. A stinky man who farts. Me. I love it. Good luck with the grant process. So we were all on a car trip, and my little brother exclaimed, "I know why add-ons are so smart, because beer has an A in it, and it helps them get an A+. He's 10. Thankfully my parents corrected him, lol. What could go wrong with sticking your head in things? Felix should listen to him. Make more gaming videos. When I was a year old, I was at a family reunion with my parents by a lake. My mom had me in one of those collapsible playpens. She turned around for a couple minutes to talk with someone. When she turned back around, I had the legs of a daddy long leg spider dangling out of my mouth, still twitching. When I was in the 2nd grade, I hated my class so much that I signed a petition to have it sold to the person who signed it. When I was in 1st grade, I always tried to glue myself to my seat because I thought it could be fun. Obviously it didn't work because I was using glue sticks. I didn't give up though and would keep trying almost every day. I was a strange kid. Pretty glad it didn't work in Insight. She got stuck on the TV's deck. When I was 8, I had a phobia of dogs, and there were lots of stray dogs who used to come and sleep near our yard for shade and barked and scared the shut out Tammy. Once I read somewhere dogs are blue color blind. I assumed they couldn't see blue, like literally as in it disappears and becomes invisible to them. So I decided to get my revenge on the dogs with my genius. Dipped myself in blue paint I found in our shed and kicked a dog that was sleeping peacefully, and that, guys, is how I received 14 shots in a single day. So when I was 6, I was in a restaurant with my parents just, eating food, and then I saw my mom's dish. It had what looked like French fries, so I ate one. Turns out they were just some sort of sliced chili. I had ordered a giant glass of lemonade and I hadn't taken a sip out of it, but my mouth was on fire. So I drank it all in one shot and then reached out for my mom's glass and drank half of it. I eventually started running around the restaurant like a maniac until I banged my head on a table and passed out. Who eats a lot? Eat man. When I was 2, I wanted to share a chicken nugget with my grandfather and threw it at him. When he would not accept my nugget,